Can men actually hate women? No. I argue that we are incapable of actually hating women. If you ask me why, just straight to the point, because we are the stronger sex. Okay? We are just biologically stronger, even, well, mentally, morally, I would argue as well. And that's the reason why we can't actually hate women, despite how much those feminists, they just keep talking, they just keep yapping, and about misogyny. Isn't this the shit that we just keep hearing all the time? Every time they find a man who disagrees with them, it's just the freaking misogyny word just flies right out of their mouth, right? Misogyny, just fucking Christ. Just can't hear this shit. Every time I hear misogyny, it's just yeah, because it's just not true. Okay, the whole concept of misogyny is just not true. Men, the sane ones, we're talking about sane men. We're not talking about some like deep seated sort of incels who are so freaking crazy. They never even get out of their house. They just sit at home all day long, jagging off. We're not talking about these types. We're not talking about some lunatics, some guys who are not supposed to be roaming free, but they're supposed to be in some mental asylums, whatever, in some cuckoo's nests. That's where they're supposed to be, but they're, right? I mean, we're not talking about them. There's definitely this category. Yeah, can they hate women? Yeah, but because they are mentally challenged, they are like really not in the right mind. We're talking about like the sane ones, the like normal ones. Me, you, just the absolute majority of men. So we can hate women. And I can even draw an analogy here with children. Can you hate kids? Even if you can even say that, oh, I hate kids. Does it mean that you actually hate kids? No. It just you just phrase it that way to sort of demonstrate your frustration, how high your frustration is. But you don't really hate kids, right? Even if it's a complete freaking like goofball, complete like douchebag, the kid is just acting crazy, just maybe attacking you with a stick, but it's like a 10-year-old kid, and you just stop the kid, right? I mean, you won't, even if you beat the kid up, it's not going to be like, you're not going to be beating the kid up like an adult beats another adult, like an adult man beats up another adult man in a knockout, bare knuckle competition, whatever. You're not going to be doing that, because you do realize this is a kid. And you won't be doing this with hatred. There is no hate. There's nuisance, okay? You're just annoyed. That's not hate. In fact, you probably don't even feel despise. You just feel annoyed by it's just some freaking nuisance, sort of, just running around you, creating some fucking chaos. You just want to stop the kid, bring it back to the order, and that's it. But the kid may think you hate him or her. And the kid himself or herself, he will be hating you because he can't fight back, because he's weaker, right? He's just smaller. It's just a kid. So he may hate you because he can't really do anything about you beating the kid up, basically, right? So that basically creates this situation where subordinates, or those people who are level below, they can hate those who are levels above. So basically, the poor people, they can in fact hate the rich ones who are having these lavish, beautiful lifestyles. Can they hate them? Very fucking easy. I mean, study the history of communism. you will see the hatred for yourself there. And pretty much the same applies to women, right? It's we generally treat women somewhere between like adult men and kids, basically. So yeah, we do view them as like adults, adult equals, but you're not gonna punch a woman like you would punch a man for the same thing, right? So it's kind of like kids. You wouldn't punch a kid, and because the kid is weaker than you, right? Because the kid will suffer some much greater sort of consequences, and then there's social norms as well, right? So you're not gonna be punch a kid or a woman, basically. Maybe a woman, an adult woman, a little. You would probably there's probably like greater chance that you might actually punch her, but just because she has more rights than a kid. She's an adult, and she may be fighting you, and there's women who for example, if she's trained, she may actually like try to knock you out, for example. There's maybe she's doing boxing because she's larger than a kid, like a 10-year-old kid. You might punch her back, but even then, if it's a man of the same caliber, like same training, you would still punch the man harder than the woman, okay, with the same credentials, basically. So there's still gradation, there's still like classes, right? That's just how nature intended us to be. And that in and of itself means women in the social hierarchy still, and they know that themselves, they will be denying, but they still know that they are, in terms of power, physical prowess, power, they are level below us, which is why, as I've said already, like those who are levels below, they can hate those who are levels above because of the envy, and just because those who are levels above have the power to basically fuck with the lives of those who are levels below, the subordinates, in any corporation, right? A CEO can fuck your life over, right? Your boss can fuck your life over. You, on the other hand, no, really. So you can hate your boss, but the boss is not going to hate you. The boss may see you as a nuisance. He may be annoyed because you're like doing something properly, or the boss may just disrespect you. He may not be respect, or he or she may not be respecting you because you're not on the same. Again, you're not on the same level. He or she, the boss thinks you haven't earned your enough sort of, or the boss may despise you. That's like maybe like a greater sort of feeling than just disrespect, or maybe not. Maybe it's lower feeling than disrespect, but he or she may still despise you because he like, for example, he sees through what you are, and he just disrespects some qualities in you, and he or she believes you are like a real piece of shit. You are completely just clueless and just hopeless in career, and that will probably trigger your boss to actually despise you. But will he actually hate you? No, because you do not present an existential threat. You don't really aim for the boss's position, so you're no competition to the boss. So he's not gonna be like hating you. Okay, despise is probably like the maximum feeling that he or she may have towards you. The same goes again for the women. Okay, women, because like level below men socially, and which is why they have all this theory of patriarchy, that they were oppressed for millennia by men, basically. That men have conspired to be just oppressing women like for millennia and all that. They actually believe in that, right? And because of that, they view us like as level above. And I mean, they do realize, I think that even the most hardcore ass feminist realizes that. And that's the reason why they will hate you, because they know you have control over them, basically. And yeah, that's why, yeah, they do have that hate, right? But they themselves, by creating this stupid freaking patriarchy myth, well, I mean, it's not entirely a myth. The fact that today we have patriarchy is a myth. But back in the days, we did actually have patriarchy, and it was pretty good, actually. But but women today, feminists, by running all alone with this freaking theory of patriarchy, they themselves prove that we men are unable to actually hate them because we don't feel like real threat, like existential threat. We don't feel that they are going to physically harm us, That's why we don't really have that hate. Despise, maybe, yeah, like some men, they might have despise. For example, some religious man, because of the teachings, and he just basically looks at the teachings, the holy scriptures, and applies them to the modern days, all these prophetic sort of moments in the Bible, or for example, the Quran. And he may have despise, but he's not gonna hate women. So hate, like despise is a passive feeling, but hate is like a very active feeling that you actually want to physically harm someone, or you wish like death upon someone. That's hate. Despise is just, I don't want to be standing around the person. Oh my God, it's just, it's like a big disrespect, like a really, really deep disrespect to the point of like, oh, fuck, the man, just stay the fuck away from me. It's kind of like that, Man can have that, but even despise is rare. Hate is almost impossible, unless, again, as I've already said, unless you are an insane male, okay? But men in general, we don't have hate. Even despise is minimal. Disrespect, I don't even think we can have like actual, like really, I mean, men can have some disrespect towards women in terms of some specific moments, maybe, like, yeah, some areas, maybe, yeah. But generally, I wouldn't even say that men generally disrespect women. They don't have that. So what is left? Basically, let's count. Hate is not possible. Men, we don't hate women. Despise, extremely rare. So now let's see what's left out there, right? As I've already said, we can't really hate women. So hate is out. Despise, extremely rare, out. Disrespect, rare, still out. So we're left with nuisance. We're just annoyed by those feminists. We are really annoyed by them. There is no hate, So all of this stupid talk from feminists, oh, misogyny, oh my God, they hate women, oh, this misogyny. There is no misogyny. I mean, as long as you are spelling it right, because you might be spelling, maybe do you even know how to spell it? Because this is the kind of misogyny that I prefer, and I think it's great. And if you are this kind of a misogynist, maybe get this freaking shirt, okay? Yeah, just, it's on the back, so it's not that bad. Don't be scared, don't be pussy. Just wear this shirt, okay? Publicly. And yeah, basically, I think I have proven it all. And well, some feminists would probably still say, yeah, you know what? But men can still hate women. It's like, for example, in a company, when a man and a woman, both colleagues, when they are rivaling for the same spot in like the top management, and they both may be hating each other. So yeah, it's like a woman hates, like the female colleague, she hates her male colleague because he's her enemy. They both aiming for the same position. So if she can hate him, he can hate her as well. Yeah, and I mean, you may think it does make sense. Oh yeah, this is a great example of men actually hating women. Yeah, that's true. No, that's not true. That's not true at all, because what matters is in what quality you hate the person. So in this specific respect, the male colleague, he hates his female colleague, not as a female. He doesn't hate her for being a female. He doesn't hate her for having the quality of being a female, okay? He hates her for being his colleague and his competitor in the workplace. That's it. He doesn't hate her for being a female. Okay? I can give you this equivalence here. For example, a Nazi German during Hitler's reign, right, in the Third Reich, he may be hating he hated all of the Jews, right? But does it mean that he hates, for example, some Jew he hates for being a male, while the other he hates for being a female? No, he hates them both for being Jews, for having the quality of belonging to a Jewish nationality. That's why he hates them both equally. So he doesn't hate the man in this particular Jew or the woman in that particular Jew. No, he doesn't really care about that specific quality of these two persons. He hates the Jewry. I don't know. He hates the Jewishness in both of these persons, because that's what unites them, right? So you can hate someone you can hate someone in terms of specific dimension that this specific person contains, right? So we have different dimensions basically. For example, I'm a male, I'm a human, then I'm an Asian guy, right? For example, I'm a Central Asian specifically, so it's not not entirely Asian, but still. And then I belong to this specific nationality, and then I'm a male also, and then I belong to this specific generation regarding my age and all that. So there's different dimensions to every person, right? There's different criteria, that there's different factors, okay? And the same goes to women as well. This male colleague, he doesn't hate her for being a female. He hates her for being his competitor that is able to take away his job, basically his top manager position. But feminists, when I say they actually hate men, because they hate men as a class, which is really fucking stupid, because there's really not such a thing, at least that's how I see it, as a male class. I mean, there's half of the population on the planet are males and the other half are females. Can you really say class? I mean, there's just too many of us, and too many of females just as equally, So we can't really be classes, because that's not how the society is structured even, okay? We're just surrounded by both females and males, we live here, and we are not divided into classes specifically. So, but women, specifically the feminists, they of course they think, because they have this myth of patriarchy that's oppressing women. That's why they hate all men, basically, because they believe that all men, men by their nature, they hate women. It's basically being oppressive is in our nature. That's how feminists view us, men. They view in this respect all men, basically, So, and that means she hates you for being a man. You may be a doctor, and she will be she might be coming to you. She may be your patient, right? And she will not be hating you for being her doctor, right? Because you've just gave her a good treatment, she's healed now. She may actually love you for being such a great doctor, but she will still have this sort of, she will still have this hate to you, to the male side of you. She doesn't hold the hate to the surgeon, for example, side of you. She loves that side because she's benefited from it directly, right? But she still hates the male side of you. She hates the male quality of you. If you take that away, the hate will be over. But the case is she hates you for being a male. And because they see us as oppressive. Maybe specifically you as a man are not oppressive. She might even tell you I don't hate you because I don't feel threatened specifically by you. But then the next day she will probably tell you, but honestly, because you're a male, you are still potentially oppressive. Potentially. You have the potency of being oppressive somewhere in the future. Okay. There you go. Basically, that's the way it goes. We don't hate women because we're just incapable.